Hey, welcome back to my channel, where I talk about redesigning, recreating this life over 40. Today I'm talking about why wanting more after 40 doesn't mean that you're unfulfilled. Um, because the idea is there is this quiet fear that shows up after 40, especially if you maybe feel that you're not where you want to be in your career, especially if you're not where you want romantically, where you wanting in terms of having children, where you are financially. Like there's a fear, and maybe even if you have those things. And you realize you want more. Maybe you want more ease. Maybe you want more meaning, it must mean that just because you want these things that you're ungrateful or you're dissatisfied. I actually don't think that's true. Because we are human beings and we are constantly evolving. Of course, I say that if you're in a space and an environment where we welcome evolution and creating and changing, then it probably won't feel like something that's foreign. But if you're in an environment where everyone kind of stays the same and you don't want to stand out, it can feel like a lot. It can feel like you're ungrateful, especially if you have the job, you're making the money. So there is a perception that you might be ungrateful. And I just want to remind you that is not true. Because somewhere along the way, I'm gonna let this truck pass. Sorry. Hopefully you can hear me. Somewhere along the way, wanting more got confused with being unhappy. So, for example, ambition, if you're ambitious, that means that like you're empty. If you have desire, then restlessness or growth also equals avoidance. And I just want to say that a lot of people downplay their wants to protect their peace. I think some people downplay their wants because they don't want to seem too much around their people. Some people downplay their wants because they don't think that they can actually have it. Some people downplay their wants because what you want feels far-fetched in this moment. And I just want to let you know that for me, wanting more did not come from like lack. This stage is coming from clarity, as it may be for you, because you're grounded, you've done the inner work, the healing, your life actually works. And I find that when things are steady internally, you start to ask better questions. And this is the part that I didn't always see, because I felt that I had to choose between depth and success, between spirituality and money, between love and ambition. And the love and ambition is a big one, right? Because it's like, if you, I definitely don't consider myself a boss babe by any strength of imagination. I don't like the term, to be honest. But there's this idea that if you are curious, you like to create, and this could also be a cultural thing, that you don't want love, right? Or if you are very zen, you're very in tune with the divine, then wanting material things or just enjoying things, that they cancel each other out. And I'll never forget on my last birthday, one of my friends said, we are women who are down to earth, but have like hopes and dreams, or we want more out of life. And I was always trying to find a way to how do you like speak to that? Because I feel like oftentimes in many of these spaces, there's always this either or question. And I'm always I'm a and, You know, why can't we do both? So what I'm learning is that these things, they don't cancel each other out at all. You can be grounded and driven. You can be spiritual and practical. You can be loving and ambitious. And you could be rooted and living abroad. That's not dissatisfaction. That's what we call integration. And after 40, we're no longer chasing validation the same way. You know, we're asking better questions like, is this sustainable? Can I do this for a long time? Does this support who I am now? Maybe when you started doing something, it worked, but now it doesn't. So ask yourself, in terms, can I live here long term? Like these are, am I building something that I'm proud of? That's not restlessness, my friends. That's discernment. So I'm Nicole, an expat and a well-being coach. And a lot of my work centers around transitions like this, rebuilding, when inner clarity starts asking for outer change, right? We want our insides, if you're feeling good on the inside, you want the outside to reflect that. And for me, what that looks like, you're living in a place that you enjoy. You're with people that you enjoy being with. You're in optimum health. You're eating really good food. Um, that's what I have right now. You're making, you're feeling light, you're feeling good. And you're not living in a limitation box that in order to have this, you need to be in this place. So if you're wanting more right now, it doesn't mean something is wrong. It might just mean you want to live more honestly. That's it. Thank you so much for sticking around. Share with someone who needs to hear this message because here we integrate. Here we are grounded. Here we are not making any excuses for rebuilding, redesigning our lives after 40. See you again.